So Come Into Me, issue number one. This is by Black Mask, and I know Black Mask kind of has like this bad reputation for being like really SJW and stuff like that. To be honest, I don't have any particular opinion of Black Mask because I've never read anything from them other than this one comic. So I picked it up. I actually like it. I like this issue. It reminds me very much of like a David Cronenberg film. Like there's a lot of body horror and like existentialism. I can't say that word for the life of me. I'm sorry. But yeah, basically we start off with like these weird like organic tubes being connected into the back of people's heads. Well, actually, the back of their necks. And we have our main character, Giles, who is basically trying to sell this operation to investors. And what the operation is, I'm not going to like read out all the dialogue, but he's doing his sales pitch. But what the operation is that you download one person's mind into another person, and then you like one person basically you're sharing minds. Like one person acts as a host, and you share minds, you share experiences, you share feelings. You literally see things from the other, in the other person's shoes. It's talking about how like the brain is just a computer, and they're like downloading their brain into like another person through this organic contraption. It's almost like a part organic, part computer. It very much reminds me of what's that David Cronenberg movie? Extension. It's with Jude Law. Very good movie. Very weird, but that's exactly what this reminds me of. So, anyways, they're doing this operation. They're transferring one consciousness into the other one consciousness from one body into the other. There's some complications, like one person starts bleeding and they're not able to take care of it. They start bleeding a lot and they have to stop the transfer and try to reverse it, but something goes wrong. The people snap out of the transfer, and yeah, we get this really horrifying thing where the guy's like, I can't feel, and then the woman who he was sharing a consciousness with says my legs. So basically, this guy's mind is is half in his original body and half in the female body. And yeah, it is just, this is like nightmare fuel, where like your consciousness is stuck in two bodies and you don't have full control over both bodies. So I think it's years later. We have Giles. Sebastian is his first name. I'm just gonna call him Sebastian. 6 months. That's what it is. 6 months later. So 6 months since that incident, he's still running tests, but he's running low on funding. The incident basically was a setback. He didn't get any like investors, and the few investors that he has, basically he's running out of money, and he needs to see results that he can share with people, so that people will help fund his project. And we cut to this girl who her name is Becky, and she arrived at NBing. NBing is the name of the company, and she wants to do this transfer. She wants to take part in this experiment. However, they won't let her because it has to be done in couples. It has to be done in pairs. You can't do single applicants because the people have to be, like, it's a delicate procedure and it requires consenting parties. But she keeps saying, like, like, are there any other single applicants? Look, I'm not here for the money. I'm just here for the experience. Sebastian arrives to see what's going on, and she basically tells him, like, hey, I want to do this. I don't have a partner, blah, blah, blah. And then Sebastian kind of buzz her off and tries to send her on her way, when she basically says, why make this a private thing? Why make this a medical thing when you can make this like a social thing? You can, you can sell it to the people where you'll make your, real money. The whole like social networks and stuff like that are huge. They're popular nowadays. This is like social networking on a whole nother level because you're literally sharing a body and a consciousness with someone. So why not release it to the masses? Sebastian is kind of thinking about it very briefly, but he's kind of like, no, I don't want to do it. But she's basically able to talk him into doing a trial, and he's like, all right, we will do this. You have to pay me $50,000, and you only get 60 minutes, no exceptions, and I will be the host. And she's like, okay. So they undergo the procedure. They share their consciousness, and yeah, we basically get Becky inside Sebastian's body, and Sebastian has full control over his body, but Becky is like along for the ride. Like Becky can hear his thoughts, feel what he's feeling. Becky can feel his body, like feel his arms moving and doing stuff. She just has no control over any of it. Sebastian is doing all the controlling, but Becky's along for the ride. Becky's like, I always wanted to believe that memories only tied us to the past. And Sebastian's like, now you know what it's like to be inside someone else's skin. Becky says, good. Now exploit it. Sell memberships to the social flesh. But yeah, that reminds me of another David Cronenberg film, Videodrome. Long live the new flesh. Another great movie. Very freaking trippy. This whole issue reminds me of like a David Cronenberg film. But yeah, basically she experiences her 60 minutes, and then they transfer their consciousness back into their original bodies. Basically, we cut back and forth between him and Becky and how they're not. Neither are happy with their own body. Neither feel like there's more to life than what they're doing. So Sebastian calls in Becky, and they do another shared consciousness, and we see Sebastian, and he's going about his life, and he's talking to Becky, who's inside his mind, and basically Becky's still trying to sell him on the whole, uh, you know, sell this to the public. Don't make this be like a private only thing. This can be like a new way, like, your technology already does what I'm proposing. It's a new form of communication, way beyond medicine. It's godly. A new way of existing. That's what we sell. A constant confrontation with another self, knowing someone beyond how they present themselves, transcending our flesh. So basically, she's selling Sebastian on making this private, and he's starting to go for it. When all of a sudden his assistant runs in and says, you got to come with me right away. She leads him into the room where where Becky is, and says, I don't know what to do. She's dead. So, yeah. The ending is, the end of the issue is Becky, her body is dead, and her consciousness is now stuck inside of Sebastian. And that's how it ends. So, yeah, that's issue number 1 of Come Into Me. Like I said, very much like this is just like a body horror in the style of a David Cronenberg film. I really enjoyed this issue. I'm definitely gonna be checking out issue 2 and seeing how this goes. But yeah, like, I'm a huge horror fan. David Cronenberg stuff is awesome, and this reminds me very much of it. So, yeah, I mean, this issue has my attention. I'm really interested to see where they go with this, especially the whole like her consciousness in his body, but her real life body is dead. So now, like, is she stuck inside of him? Like, that's terrifying if you were her. It reminds me very much of an issue of Hellblazer, like the original series, where John gets one of his friends to put his soul into like the internet so he can like track down some information. But as that's happening, like as that's going on, something happens to the guy's body. Basically, his body like burns on fire or whatever. His body gets destroyed while he's inside the internet. So then he comes back and he's like, all right, I got the information you wanted. Now help me get back into my body. And then John's like, your body is gone. Like, that always freaked me out. Like as a kid, it's like that idea of your mind going someplace, and then while your mind is someplace else, your body like dies. It's like, now what do you do? Like I used to get scared of the whole uh like out of body experiences. Like what happens if you can't get back to your body? Uh I used to think that could like happen. Like people had out of body experiences. Like you had to get back to your body before you woke up. Because like if you didn't, you would forever be like lost in like limbo. Like you can never get back into your original body. Like, this was like a thing that like used to scare me as a kid. So this reminds me very much of that like idea. So yeah, Coming to Me issue number one. I really liked it. Uh, Definitely gonna check out the second issue. Like I said, very much a David Cronenberg film in terms of premise and all that. But yeah, hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I'll catch you guys next time. Later.